Hey guys, welcome back to the JPM Performance channel. It is, of course, time for our shop tour. It's been a couple weeks, but here we are, our first Thursday in June. Hard to believe. June 5th. We have been having some rain in Topeka. Probably more rain than we have had in most springs for quite a while. So it's kind of a good thing for us around here. Lots of storms. Expecting a lot of rain this week as well. It's raining right now. So on and so forth. So like I say, it's been a couple weeks since we've had a shop tour. We weren't able to have one last week, as it turns out, but that just leaves you in more anticipation for this week. I know it. So let's get into our shop tour. So on the bench, another differential, but this one's a little different. You can see that this is not a Miata. This is a first generation RX-7 differential. This is Austin Bradshaw's new diff. So Austin wanted a differential built by me. We've got ourselves a 1.5-way OS Geiken that we're installing. Just waiting for the ring and pinion to come back, which should be back like today, from REM treatment. And you can see I have everything restored. I even, take care of the flanges, make these all pretty. Got all the parts I need. I already have the front bearing installed with the seal. Just waiting on our ring and pinion, and we'll get this together and shipped out to him. He, of course, finished second at the Runoffs last year in e-production in his first gen RX-7. So hoping this can help him go even faster this year. We'll see. I think we saw this. Yeah, I'm sure we did. No, we just see this while I was making it. So I got this all completed. It's actually been completed for a week and a half or more. This is actually the splitter under tray for the BMW Z3, Tyler Ladd's BMW. You can see how much nicer it looks than these original twisted pieces. So like always, I reserve the right to make things a little bit better. I made it out of a slightly different material, thickness and height, which should give them a little bit more room for the Zeus's on the front. But the under tray is looking real good. Tyler's dad, Dean, is going to be bringing me up the engine. It's time for a refresh on the BMW, and he'll pick that up when he gets to it. Gets to bringing me the engine, which should be in the next week or two. So we're already in June, which means I'm going to start seeing Runoffs engines. Already have some Runoffs engines started. You can see that Wade McBride's car is gone. It was here last shop tour, and he came and picked it up to take it home and get all the bodywork and the suspension fixed, so we're looking good there. So just thinking about now, since I'm able to take a breath, I'm going to start ripping and tearing on Ken's car here real soon. Really wanted to make sure I had time to focus on this project when I got to it, but here we are, the 1st of June. Ken is actually going to be up at the June Sprints this weekend. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, the June Sprints are this weekend. Ken is going to be up at the June Sprints running his Miata. I bet you guys didn't know he had a Miata that ran an F production. It's actually an old STL car that has an F production Miata, F production engine in it. And Joe Smith is actually going up there to support Ken and then also bring the Miata back here, because we're going to turn it into a proper full-blown FP Miata race car. So that's our goal for that. But in the meantime, we need to focus on car number one. Runoffs prep, engine and transmission are coming out. Won't be long before we get to really rocking and rolling on this. Camaro update. So this is kind of an interesting thing. So I got stalled out on Perry's Miata project. I'll show you what's going on over there in a minute. So I started chipping away on the Camaro, and then I started seeing a lot of the different things that were bent pretty badly, a lot worse than I thought. And then I test fit this old body piece, and I realized that the top seam of the roof to the deck is really good, but we've got, and I actually forced this over, we've got quite the gap here. Even though this body, this side panel here, is perfectly aligned up against the roof, this rear deck is shifted somehow. So The rear body mounts, I can't get this rear pin to go in. This thing's in a lot worse shape than I actually thought. And then I got to thinking to myself, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for a wrecked GT1 car. I've got all these engines I need to be doing and finishing Perry's car and more motors coming in and some really exciting projects coming up this summer as well that I'll be sharing with you guys. So I called the guy that did the restoration on the car, Mark Meissen, up in Chicago, and I said, Mark, how busy are you right now? He's like, I can squeeze it in. So I've got it all battened up. You can see I've got a dolly under the back of the car, and I've got all the bits and pieces sitting up here. This car is going bye-bye until it gets fixed. I'm not going to do any more of this kind of repair. Got too many other projects to work on. I should have pulled this trigger probably a month ago. I never like turning down good work, and Steve is such a great customer. But sometimes you got to know when to say when, especially when you're a one-man shop like me. So next week, this car will be gone. And there's probably not going to be anything in its place for a minute because this was its permanent area. But I do have another project or two coming that we'll be talking about down the road. So, in the meantime, what I've really been working on is Perry's car. And what does that mean? Wiring. So, you can see I've got the main harness coming through, all of the wires to throttle position sensor, cam sensor, crank sensor, all the coils, all of our temp sensors, our boost solenoid. It's all just unloomed right now because I want to hear this car run before I... Tip of the day. When you're doing a standalone ECU like this, I would suggest when you're running all your own wires, if you'll take a look if you come around the other side. Ignition's already on. When you run all your own wires, it's best to take your time and not loom it all up until you know that everything is working. And so I wanted to make sure that the dash was integrated into the ECU. I wanted to make sure I could hook everything up. I actually spun the engine over for oil. You can see I've got my oil pressure. So look at this thing. So this is a Haltech dash. So it's an IC10 Haltech dash, integrates with a CAN bus wire right into the ECU, plugs right in, and it recognizes it automatically. Obviously, I'm not going to leave these just laying here like this, but it makes life very simple. It collects all the data straight from the ECU, and you can decide exactly what you want to put on the dash. It's a pretty cool piece. It's the first Haltech dash that I've worked with. Obviously, you guys know that I'm a fan of the ECUs, but what has stopped me is a cracked fuel rail. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the fuel pump on real quick. Strangest thing, Perry said this was a new fuel rail, but right here, down inside where they machined this, is cracked. I'm going to flip the fuel pump on just for a second so you guys can see where it's coming from. Pretty big leak. And so we're going to be getting a new fuel rail. So I was hoping to have the car running by now, but this is how it is when you're building a new car. You always have little things. So checklist wise, fuel rail install, and then this baby's gonna run. So I'm gonna get it running, get an initial break-in and tune on it before we go to the dyno, but then before the dyno, I'm gonna loom everything up, loom the wiring harness up, get the car over on the lift, do a complete corner weight and alignment. All the suspension is new. Once it's corner weighted and aligned, then we'll go to the dyno, and then it goes back to Perry and he can put it together and get out on the track. So it's been quite the project, but car's turning out pretty good so far. Had a lot of little niggly things to work on, but that's how it is when you're building a new car. Mazda 2. Okay, so I finally have had a little bit of time to start working on her. So I'm working on pulling the nose off the car I'm going to pull the engine and transmission off. I've actually been working on different aspects of the engine, but Runoffs prep has begun. You can see she's up in the air. The water's actually still dripping a little bit out of the radiator, and I've got all the oil getting drained out. So really excited to get to chipping away. I know it seems like it's really early to be prepping your car for the Runoffs, but A, I don't race in the summer, so I might as well start working on the car for the Runoffs. And B, I don't like spending a ton of time all at once, just like I've told you guys forever. So I'm chipping away. I've got a bunch of little details I want to spruce up on the car over the summer, and see if we can put our best foot forward for this year's Runoffs, which are once again at Elkhart Lake. So, like I said earlier, the June sprints are at Elkhart Lake, and it is this upcoming weekend. As always, it's a super tour, so it will be on scca.com/live for all the live timing, and you can find these races on YouTube under SCCA Official, so you can check out the races. Tons of customers will be up there this weekend, so good luck to everybody that's going. I haven't looked at the entry list in the last couple weeks, so I'm not going to attempt to ring off all of the customers that are going, but there's going to be a bunch. I'm not heading up personally, but I will be watching. I bet you will too. I appreciate you guys watching the shop tour as always. We'll have more and more things coming down the pipe, of course, as the summer comes along, and next week we should have some serious progress on Perry's car. Fingers crossed, might be very close to being done. We shall see. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great rest of your week. Stay dry. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's pouring right now. And so it's good to get this rain. Thanks for watching. Take care.